Are you a parent or a BCBA dealing with daytime challenging behaviors? Then I want you to consider this. In this video, I'm going to go over why you should consider sleep as a key setting event when you're dealing with emotional dysregulation, daytime problem behavior, increases in self-injurious behavior, and difficulty with memory and skill acquisition. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do try and post videos with content on sleep and addressing challenging behaviors with some regularity. And don't forget to check out my Thinkific website, where you're going to find free resources as well as webinars for both parents and BCBAs to help improve sleep. If you don't know who I am yet, my name is Gabby. I am a BCBA, an LBA, and a certified behavioral sleep specialist, and I have been working in the field of autism for a little over 30 years. I have been a BCBA for 11 of those years, and more recently, I have become a certified behavioral sleep specialist so that I could do a little bit better when it came to helping the learners under me improve daytime problem behavior and also address a lot of the issues that parents were coming to me with during parent training and caregiver support meetings where they just weren't getting any sleep. So that kind of started my process into learning more about sleep and learning how I could do better as a clinician to support the families that I work with. I am also a mom to two really great kids and a wife. So I'm pretty busy. I work full-time at districts here on the island. I contract into, currently this year, 3 different districts. So my schedule is pretty jam-packed, but I do really find the time to develop these videos for you and also to post some free content and some information on my Instagram site as well. So if you have the time, shoot over there, take a look at that, get some information, save some of that content, and well, let's just dive right into it. Let's go over some facts that you should know about sleep and how it impacts your learner. Did you know that 80% of children on the spectrum will suffer with sleep problems? That's a pretty high number. And when I am working with parents and caregivers, I notice that the majority of the time they are reporting that sleep is a concern for them. Sleep problems are linked to increased rates in physical health. A lot of my students are chronically sick or dealing with illnesses. Challenging behaviors are higher for children who struggle with sleep. So things like self-injurious behavior, hyperactivity, anxiety, and inattention or inability to focus. There are cognitive deficits that sleep is linked to, higher rates of problems with adaptive functioning. There are increased rates of just ASD symptomology that we notice with sleep problems. And children with sleep problems are reported to have higher rates of problem behavior during the school day. Not to mention more difficulty with fatigue, more difficulty to motivate, and just the occurrences of tardiness and absences as well, which then impedes on their ability to learn. So given that sleep is something that is paramount for all of our health and more difficult for children on the spectrum to generate, let's talk a little bit about the variables that you want to consider addressing as a clinician or a parent that we have some form of control over that could help improve the sleep hygiene. So before we dive into it, I have a webinar for BCBAs where you can accrue 1 learning continuing ed unit. And in this webinar, we go a lot deeper into the information that I'm providing you here today. You'll also get a lot of downloadable resources to help you improve your practice and your conversations with parents as you're going through your caregiver meetings. So what variables can we look at? We can look at things such as activity level, how much screen time they're using, how consistent a routine is that's in place, and how well developed is the routine leading up to bedtime. We look at things like sleep pressure, how to increase sleep pressure for that learner, and we look at what skills does the learner need in order to improve or enhance the bedtime routine and reduce the chances of problem behavior. In addition to that, those skills are necessary in order to have good sleep plans and good treatment plans for that family if the child were to wake in the middle of the night. So because sleep is an important setting event and we want to tackle sleep, then you want to be proactive with the variables. And there are more variables than what I've mentioned, but we want to look at those variables in terms of how can we help the family to either develop skill or to improve the routine itself that leads up to sleep. So you want to look at things like How can we set up for success? Are there visuals that the parent could use? Are we identifying where problems are occurring in the routine or during the night? You also are looking at things like, have we been able to pre-teach or develop skills such as tolerating and relinquishing? Those are really huge components when you're looking at families leading up to bedtime, because the goal, one of the initial goals for sleep, is that the child falls asleep on their own. So if there are dependencies either on the parent or on items like, the screen or the iPad, then we want to look at those and how do we remediate those ahead of time so that it makes for a smoother transition to bed and it doesn't suppress the sleep pressure that we're trying to develop. What I'd love for you to do now is to go and check out some of my other videos on visuals, how to set up a good bedtime routine to get started on your journey of treating the variables that are related to sleep concerns and sleep problems. I also would love you to go and check out the free resources that I provide for both parents and BCBAs, things like a sleep hygiene checklist, activities to include into the bedtime routine, and more. On that same link, you're going to find 2 different types of webinars, one for caregivers, which is a mini workshop. It's meant to be easily digestible for parents. It has great resources and a ton of them. It helps you to start to look at sleep as a teachable skill. You'll also come away with a built bedtime routine that you will develop through the course of the workshop. A bedtime routine is more than just identifying the 30 minutes before sleep, and that's it. So you want to check that out. You want to grab that information. The link is there in my bio. Also, for BCBAs, I have a webinar, as I mentioned before, which really goes into further depths, the strategies, the whys behind, and how we pre-teach skills. So if you check that out, that also comes with great content such as articles, resources, and links. So thanks for joining me for this little video, a little bit about sleep, why it's such an important setting event, and some of the variables that you want to consider. Please make sure to check out my other videos in this channel, as well as the link to my free content and other resources. Till next time.